Hi there, it's Nana, and today I'm going to read you Jenny Jellyfish, A Tale of Wiggly Jellies by Suzanne Tate, illustrated by James Melvin. Jenny Jellyfish was a moon jelly, floating free in the sea like a tiny moon. She was a beauty. You could see pink and pretty colors on her clear bell-like body. Jenny's friends were floating in the water around her. Each one was a moon jelly, an animal with no heart, brains, or bones. Jenny Jellyfish had so many friends, she couldn't even name them all. Johnny, Jerry, Jackie, and Jiggly Jelly were just a few of Jenny's friends. The moon jellies drifted together and were often pulled by the water, but each jellyfish could also move itself by squeezing its body back and forth. Jenny and her friends were almost all water themselves, wiggly and jiggly animals. Jiggly Jelly was Jenny's best friend, and wigglest one of all. He would wiggle and jiggle just to show off. Most of the jellies would laugh at Jiggly as they drifted and moved in the sea, but Jenny Jellyfish worried about him. "Why can't you be still?" she asked. Jiggly didn't listen and kept on wiggling. One day Krabby was swimming in the sea. He saw Jiggly swimming away. "I'll swim up under that jellyfish," he thought to himself. "It will be a good place to hide." But a big sea turtle had spied a meal in that wiggly jiggly jellyfish. Krabby saw the big creature just in time and scooted away. The turtle turned and tried to catch Krabby instead of Jiggly. Oh boy. But Krabby quickly hid in an old bucket lying at the bottom of the sea. He was surprised to find Nabby there. "What's going on?" she asked. "A big turtle would rather eat me than a jellyfish," he replied. They're hiding away from the turtle. Meanwhile, Jenny scolded Jiggly as they floated in the sea. "If you weren't so wiggly, the turtles wouldn't notice you," she told him. Jiggly didn't want to listen, but he watched as Jenny fired tiny stingers from her tentacles. She soon grabbed a little fish that was stunned by the poisons in her stinger. Jiggly thought, "That's too much trouble. I'll just grab tiny animals and eggs from the water that flows over me." Right away he began to slurp down plankton with his thick-mouthed tentacles. As Jenny and Jiggly and their friends drifted and ate, more and more jellies joined them. "There must be hundreds of jellyfish now," Jenny said. "We look like a floating raft of jelly." Do you think they do? Soon female jellyfish like Jenny began dropping eggs. Jiggly and the other males released a liquid that fertilized the eggs. Baby moon jellies began to hatch and hang on to the adults' tentacles. The baby jellies were as tiny as a pencil dot. See, they're very, very tiny. The tiny jellies soon dropped down to the bottom and grabbed hold of rocks and oysters. There they grew and became tube-like animals called polyps. The polyps then formed many buds and popped off and became new jellyfish. Later, Jiggly was looking for Jenny, but he couldn't find her anywhere. There were so many jellies in the water. A rainbow spot on some clouds was beginning to show in the sky. It was called a sundog. Jiggly saw the sundog and worried. "That's a sign of bad weather," he thought. This wind will likely blow and blow. The winds did begin to howl. The strong waves bounced. The raft of moon jellies. Those watery animals were helpless. The big waves splashed them closer and closer to the sandy beach. Suddenly, the moon jellies were piled up on it, a bunch of watery blobs. They all ended up on the shore. Oh my, oh my! It was Jenny, not hurt, but scared. Jiggly, who was nearby, couldn't even wiggle, for the wind was dry and the sun was hot. We need water, Jenny cried. Maybe helpful humans will find us. Jiggly said, hopefully. Soon a family of humans came along, looking for shells after the storm. They were surprised to see so many jellyfish piled up on the beach. Let's be helpful humans, the woman said. We can try to keep the jellyfish wet until the tide brings high water to the beach. Here's my first bucketful, said the little girl. I'll help too, said the little boy. These are moon jellies. They won't sting us like other jellyfish. And they began to help the jellies. More helpful humans came along and splashed water on the moon jellies too. At last the tide came in and lifted all the jellies from the beach. Jiggly couldn't help wiggling for joy. This time Jenny didn't scold him. I feel wiggly too, Jenny sighed happily. Thanks to helpful humans, we can float in the sea once more. The end.